Good day, and welcome to this Bioasis video news report. I'm joined once again by Mr. Rob Hutchison, CEO of Bioasis, and welcome, Rob.
Thank you, Kim.
Now, Bioasis recently began trading on the OTCQX in the United States. Exciting news. Do you want to tell us about that?
It is exciting news for the company, Kim, and I think for our shareholders too as well. We've been working on it for a number of months now, and it sort of was the natural progression for us to start once we were ready to introduce our technology into potential commercialization with large pharmaceutical companies around the world. It was a graduation of the company from a research phase into the next phase of development of the company overall. And getting into the U.S. Is a very important thing from our perspective because of the mass exposure, the ability to access capital, a lot of different things that you can do in the States that are just a little bit more, I would say, probably advanced or a little bit higher in numbers.
Right.
You know, we compare a population base in Canada, which our population from 30 million to 300 million plus in the U.S. So the opportunity to tell our story on a more broader market, as well as tell our story more on a global basis, was a pretty major step for us to do. So
well, you've been working on these collaborations for quite some time now as well. So this is really puts the company in a whole different direction now. You're actually getting from the theory of the research and all that, moving into commercialization.
Very much so. You know, if anybody has been following the company over the past number of years, they will have seen a natural progression occur, and that was to do some research in the academic world at University of British Columbia, to move it out of the academic world into conducting validation studies with companies such as the NRC or as Texas Tech, a number of things that we've done to validate it, to move it into the industry, to work with potential collaborators as we've done, and then to move it from that stage now into a broader global approach once we've finished those off. Well,
I know that we've talked in the past about these collaborations and how difficult it was to talk about them because, of course, they're research and a lot of it's quite secretive. You know, don't want to reveal too much. But now we're real concrete news. Moved into the U.S. market now from 30 million to 300 million. This is very exciting and very timely, I would think, too, as things. You know, there's so much interest in getting therapeutics through and across the blood-brain barrier.
There has been. In the last 12 months, probably most notably in the last 12 months, we've seen a tremendous amount of interest from this within the industry itself, and that's the pharmaceutical companies. They are approaching, we call them patent cliffs, where they're losing big blockbuster drugs that are worth billions of dollars, and they're looking at ways of being able to, how do they extend those?
They're going to lose those patents soon.
Right, and so they're looking and saying, well, we need to start looking for new technologies, and this is a cycle that pharmaceutical companies go through. It's a natural progression. We just happen to hit that cycle at a time when all of a sudden the large big pharmas are out there, and I think notably there's a lot of them in the top tier that are saying, we're keenly interested in the CNS, the brain. Age-old problem, how do you get therapeutics to cross? So there's a tremendous amount of interest from the industry right now. We seem to be providing a very solid solution, and from that interest has culminated in more interest in the company right now.
Right.
And having that access to a larger population base from a shareholder perspective, we think it's going to be a very positive thing for all of the existing shareholders we have, and those new shareholders that we're planning on bringing into the company now with the introduction and being able to go out and tell the U.S. population and tell the U.S. brokers what Bioasis is all about. Really
exciting. You know, they say timing is everything. This seems like very good timing indeed.
We believe so. Yes, we do, Ken.
Well, thank you for this. Is there anything else you want to talk to us about in terms of what's going on with the company? Now trading on the OTCQX in the United States, that big enough news in itself, as of just a few days ago, February the 24th, I believe.
That's correct. Yeah, I think we've touched it. It was a culmination of things happening, completing the collaborations that we'd signed with, looking at advancing with new collaborators, so all of these things are, you know, the natural progressive things that we needed, or we felt it was now time to actually introduce the company to the U.S. investment community, and also and also an international community, because the international marketplaces, you know, look at the U.S., and look at the U.S.
Right.
markets, and obviously follow the OTCQX. There's a number of large, there's a large pharmaceutical company in Pfizer listed on the OTCQX, Adidas. There's a lot of companies that are global in nature that are looking at this new market as an opportunity to be able to reach a global perspective, let alone just the U.S. market too as well.
Very exciting news indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kim.
So if you're looking for Bioasis, you can now find them on the OTCQX exchange in the United States and of course at bioasis.ca. Thank you very much.